Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight for PLL Chat. I am Kelly and I'm so happy to be with you here tonight. And we're just getting so much closer to the reveal of Big A, or at least I hope we are. So I'm getting really excited. And there were a lot of clues in last night's episode and a lot of theories that you guys have been sending me via Twitter that I want to talk about. But first, let's just get started by you saying hey to me so I know who all is watching tonight. And so far, I see Ina, Jennifer, and Shalisa. So thank you guys so much for being here. And go ahead and say hey if you haven't said hey yet. Let's start off with Varjak. And I was excited to see they did not drop that storyline. They had a lot more info on Varjak. We delved into the whole Varjak mystery. And I think it's interesting that they keep referring to him as a guy because for all we know, it could be a woman. But I'm still supporting my theory that I think that Ezra is Varjak. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that Varjak is someone else? I know there are like a million theories out there. Also, hello to Vlad. Thanks again for joining me like you do like every week. That is so awesome. Vladimir is saying that the reveal is not going to be a real one. Well, I've gone back and forth about that. Obviously, most of you guys probably follow Marlene King on Twitter, and she tweeted out like the definition of reveal one day, and she's making it seem like she's going to reveal Big A. Has she said something different lately to make you think that that's not what's going to happen? I have always kind of found it odd that they would reveal Big A this soon, but I don't know, because she keeps saying that they will. So what's up with that, Marlene? Hello to Aya. I hope I'm saying your name right. And Chiara or Kiara. I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing your names wrong. And hello to, if you're on Insticator, just make sure you tell me your name if you're not logged on so that I can say hey to you, because I see someone saying hello and I don't know who you are. And I want to be able to say hello to you. So type in your thoughts about Varjak. Who do you think Varjak is? I mean, let's just talk about this for a second. I felt like they really tried to make it seem like Ezra was innocent last night, which you know what that means. That means it's the exact opposite. Like, I felt like he went to great lengths to go talk to that lawyer, and I'm kind of wondering if the lawyer isn't shady. Maybe he was just trying to make us think that he was shady. And do we really think that's Varjak's house that they went to? So Vladimir's saying we're going to have a big clue instead of the Big A reveal. Well, they keep saying Big A reveal. If they don't reveal Big A, then that is just, deceptive. That is not cool. Is that cool with any of you guys? I mean, how many promos do we have to see this as Big A reveal to think that it's something different? I mean, ridiculous. Akil, hey Akil, thank you so much for joining us tonight. So many people here. It's so exciting. So, okay, we can move on from Varjak for a little bit and talk about, Vladimir's saying that Varjak is Black Veil. And we also need to know who Black Widow is. And a lot of you have been tweeting me and talking to me on YouTube saying that Black Widow should be a woman. So maybe Big A is a woman. Melissa was back in the episode last night. We haven't seen her in like forever. And I was hoping that we would also see Ren, but we did not see Ren. I know that Ren is at the top of a lot of your lists to be Big A, and I can totally see that. I see it. I don't really want to believe it because it bothers me because he's not in the show a lot, so I don't want him to be Big A. I want it to be somebody who's like always on the show. Do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, that's how I feel anyway. But I have gotten several tweets about Melissa and people saying that she's Big A. Do you guys support that or not? Ina is saying that Ezra is Varjak. Jennifer's saying that Ezra is Varjak. And if you were here with me last week or if you watched my video last week, I went into my explanation for my theory about him being Varjak because Varjak was a character in Breakfast at Tiffany's. He's like obsessed with that movie, and he had written about it in his like book that he was writing about Allison, and he compared her to the character Holly, who was Audrey Hepburn's character. It just all ties together. But it was funny because I want to call her, not Melissa, but Emily questioned him last night and said, do you know anything about Varjak? He was like, no. And a lot of you were tweeting me like he's lying. And I think he is lying. Like, I think he has been shady from day one. I think he's got a lot of a backstory that we just don't know. And I'm excited to see like what that is. I just had a thought about this and may not be right, but I wonder if he might be adopted because he seems to have like a very different relationship with his family, like a not good relationship. So it's possible that he is the one with the twin if they are indeed going to go with the twin theory. And Vlad says that Melissa better not be A. I really don't think that she is A. I really don't. The only thing that kind of made me think she might be last night was when she said, sometimes you have to hurt people because you're trying to do something good for someone or you're trying to do what's right. And I was wondering if they were just using that line as a way to say that she might be a bad person, but I kind of believe that she is a good person at heart. I think she's done some wrong things, but I think at heart she's a good person. Tell me if I'm saying your name wrong. Chiara or Kiara? I'm so sorry. How did Ezra know that Allie had a passport with the name Holly Varjak? I don't remember anyone telling him that. Right. And that was another little piece of information that we already knew that Emily brought back up, that you remember from like last season, I think. They found the passport, the fake passport of Allie's with the fake name of Holly Varjak. So I don't remember anyone telling him. He seems to know a lot of stuff. And another thing about him is that he's very tech savvy, okay, because we remember him in the lair and all the computers. And whoever A is has to be like incredibly tech savvy, because in this episode, they erased all the messages on all the girls' phones, which not even sure if that's possible IRL, but it has to be someone who's extremely tech savvy. Is Melissa that tech savvy? I don't know. Maybe some of these people who we don't think are tech savvy are tech savvy. They just haven't let us know that yet. Amelia is pointing out something that I'm going to point out tonight when I shoot my recap video, is that we did not have an A ending in this episode. And that was really suspicious to me. And Daniela, who I talked to a lot via Twitter and YouTube, tweeted to me that we didn't see A because A is in jail. She's thinking that A is possibly Hannah. I did think that was pretty weird, and I don't think that's a coincidence. So what's up with that? That was so strange we didn't have an A clip. Ina is saying that maybe Rin is A and Melissa is doing things for him because she loves him. I like that. Exactly. That may explain why she said what she said. Maybe she thinks that she's helping to protect Spencer and to protect her family, because you know her family has some drama and some drama with Allie's family that they really haven't uncovered all the way. So maybe she's doing it to help her family, and at the same time she is assisting A, and maybe she doesn't realize he's really A. I'm not sure. So Aya, I believe, Aria is A and Ezra is protecting her. They are a shady couple. Like, I would totally love it. I've thought about this theory so many times. Like, if Ezra ends up being A, of course, we had the big breakup last night, which we all knew was coming. I was so happy that Andrew wasn't in this episode, but he was texting and he was writing notes. So I thought it was kind of funny that he put that note in her locker, because at first when it fell out, that just seemed like something that A would do. And I thought it was going to be a note from A. And then, of course, he texted her. Everyone texts. But it was just like he was communicating with her the way that A would, but he was saying nice things. Okay. Yeah, Ina had a great theory. I like that. So Vlad's saying that it's too obvious for Ezra to be A. Possibly. But I think the show has put us all, like, they made us think that he's okay again and that he's safe after we thought he was A. So I don't know. I don't think that Big A is going to be somebody that's super obvious or that we really think is a villain. Vlad's saying I would hate for it to be Rin. It should be someone more relevant. I completely agree with you. He's just never in the show. And it's like a cop-out to me if he ends up being Big A, because, I mean, we just never see him. Maybe that's what they're going to use to be like, we never see him because he's all behind the scenes doing all this crazy stuff to the girls. But come on. I know we don't see him because the actor is actually busy doing other projects. That's like the real reason. And Vlad also hates Andrew. Totally agree with you. And I was so excited because Talia was not in this episode. Johnny was not in this episode. I was like, yes, like we got rid of like the trio of people that I just can't deal with at all. So let's talk a little bit about Colin, because a lot of you have thought that there's more to this guy than what's on the surface. And of course, Spencer's like all into him now. It's just like she's jumping from guy to guy. So I don't know what's up with that. And she kind of explored the idea of moving to England like full time. So do you guys think she's going to actually follow through with that? But I'm not really sure she'll do that because at the end of the episode, when she realized that Melissa lied to her again, she kind of had, I think she had like second thoughts about this. So what do you think? Do you think she'll end up moving to England? And what do you think about Colin? Because some of you have told me that you think he's on the A team. Do you think he is? I even have people tweeting me and talking to me on YouTube saying that Andrew is big A. Now, I'm going to disagree with that because he's a newer character. I know we've seen him before this season, but still, I do not think Big A is going to be someone who's like a minor or a supporting character. I at least hope that it's going to be one of the main characters. Ina says, we don't know the reason for all of this, so A can, yeah, that's the biggest problem, to have a main suspect for A. Yeah, I think that's the thing. And I think that's kind of the thing that like Keegan and Marlene have tweeted about and kind of hinted to, is that we really don't know the motivation for A, their motivation for harassing the girls. So it really could be anybody, which I think is kind of awesome because it could be someone who we completely trust. Like it could be one of the girls, which is what I've always kind of hoped. If it's not Ezra, like I hope it's one of the girls, but they probably have like a backstory and stuff that's happened to them that we don't know about, because they both said, Keegan and Marlene, that we're going to feel sorry for this person. So right now, they're like, you know, Toby went through some drama and Jenna's been through some stuff. So we could kind of feel sorry for them. But I don't think there's a clear person who's just like been really abused that we're like, oh my gosh, they're a victim. We feel so bad for them. It's probably because we do not know like their complete story. Chantel is saying maybe it's Caleb because he knows all about it, computers and stuff. If he is A, he tricks Hannah. I tossed that idea around before because he definitely has like a criminal past, but he was standing right there when her phone got, you know, all the messages were removed or deleted from her phone. So he would definitely have to be working with someone. We have to go back to the A-team theory, because how else would he be standing right there? Like I didn't see him do anything on a phone or a tablet or anything to be able to initiate that. So that was a little bit weird. Kiara, it would be totally random if Colin's on the A team unless he is somehow related to Ren. Yeah. I think possibly like if Ren ends up being Big A, maybe he's recruited this Colin guy to do some of his dirty work. Maybe he's a newer member of the A team, but I don't think he's somebody that's been like a part of this since the beginning. Sassy, I just wish that the liars would stop letting new people into their lives. I totally agree with you on this, especially people like Andrew, Talia, and Colin, because every single new person in the show is super shady. Yes, totally. And it looks like by now, because this has been going on for years, that the girls would be like, let's just not accept these new people in our lives because there's so many shady people in Rosewood and we need to be careful about who we trust. And the only person they ever acted like they should be like kind of, you know, skeptical about is Leslie, which was like, hello, you should be doing this with Johnny, Talia, Colin, Andrew. It's really weird how that works. And then we haven't seen Leslie again for a while. Shalise is saying that producers have mentioned there will be a long time jump in PLL world. Maybe Spencer will live in London during the time jump. Yeah, maybe so. And when is this supposed to happen, Shalisa? Is this supposed to happen like this season or next season? Or what have you heard about that? Anna's saying if it's Caleb, she will die. I love Caleb too. I really don't think it's going to be him. At least I really hope it's not going to be him. I was excited to hear some information about the barrel last night, but then I wasn't so excited because they said that some bone fragments were found, but that they couldn't get the DNA off of it. So I'm like wondering, like they're assuming it's Mona, and I'm wondering if we're ever going to know what's in the barrel. And that's aggravating because they made that like a huge like storyline and then they've dropped it and now they're kind of bringing it back just to throw it away. And what about Mona, guys? Do you think that she is still alive? Because a lot of you do, because you've been tweeting me and telling me on my channel that you think she's alive. So what's up with that? Maybe she's still got something to do with all this stuff that's going on. So Vlad has a really great question. Who is your dream A? My dream A, and I've said this in several of my videos, is Ezra. I have thought about that since literally season 1, maybe the second episode, or even in the first episode, he was creepy to me. He felt out of place. He seemed to show up like just at the right time. You know, his whole deal with Allison and dating her is super shady. Obviously, the fact that he had cameras everywhere and his computers and all that weird stuff in his cabin was creepy, the fact that he likes younger girls. There's just like a huge case you could build with him, which I guess if you really think about it, you could totally make out anyone in the show to be A because there's so many different little clues that would make them seem suspicious. But he's my dream A. But if it couldn't be him, I want one of the girls to be A, or like if him and Arya were A, I would love that. I'm not happy with Ren, Jenna, or Melissa being A, or Cece. Because we don't really see those people very often. Okay, Shalisa's not sure about the time jump, and that's okay. I'll do some research on that and see if I can find that out. Sassy wants to know, and I also had the same thought last night, what happened after Allison screamed? Like, who hurt her? It looked like maybe she had been burned, like with an iron on her arm. She looked to be hurt like really bad. So I felt really, really bad for her, but it seems like she would have seen the person who hurt her unless they had a mask on or something. I don't know. So Ina says that she thinks Mona is still alive. I'm starting to think that myself. Shalisa says, I know it's crazy, but I think Mona's still alive. So that is her dream anyway. She helped Allie fake her death, so maybe she faked hers. Yeah, I could totally see that being the case. So I just wonder, like, when is that reveal going to happen? Is that something that we will possibly find out in this season finale, or what? I kind of think she's still alive. I could be wrong, but I know a lot of you do too. And Vlad also thinks that Mona is still alive. Something else I want to talk to you guys about. I received several screenshots of the receipt that Emily found from Varjak ordering that pizza. So there is a phone number for Varjak, and people were tweeting me like it spells out different things. I got like 3 different things that it spelled out. Then someone told me that in the sneak peek for next week, it spells out, did you miss me, love, Holly. So Holly, we know, is a name that Allison used. Or perhaps if she has a twin, maybe that's one of her twins' identities. So have you guys heard anything about that phone number being significant? We saw Emily try to call it and nobody answered, and it was like there was no voicemail. But I think that is going to be interesting and something that they talk about in the next episode. Amelia says she never thought she would feel bad for Allie. I didn't either. I think Sasha is doing such a great job in that role. And when she screamed after being locked in the laundry room, I was like, oh my gosh, that was just like so emotional. That was so great. I actually really like Allie, and I actually think that the show has improved since Allie has become a regular and a live character. There has been times throughout the entire show that I thought were boring, some seasons that kind of were slow, but once she joined the cast as a live character, I just thought, wow, she's a really great actress, and I think she's added a lot to the show. So Brooke's asking, how could a person get into the prison to write on Allie's wall? And they wrote on her wall to take the plea deal. I really think a lot of that stuff that's going on in the prison isn't A exactly. Like, I think A is paying people, bribing people to do things. So I think A is just using other prisoners to do their dirty work. And they're doing all the stuff like tearing up her cell and writing on her wall and attacking her. That's what I think is going on there. Amelia's saying it spells out Sarah Harvey on a phone's keypad. Yes, that was also tweeted to me. If you remember, Sarah Harvey was another storyline that was pretty much dropped. Sarah was a girl who was killed around the time that supposedly Bethany was murdered, and the girls talked to some of her friends because that's kind of like an unsolved murder. But we haven't heard anything else about her for so long, and I know that that has to be important. And yes, as Amelia said, it is Sarah without the H, so it spells out Sarah's name, S-A-R-A. If you look in the PLL wiki, Sarah's character, her name does not have an H on the end. Akil is asking, what if Toby is A, or at least part of the A team? He has access to the prison, and he could have been the one to write on Allie's wall. Well, we have to know by now that someone within the police force definitely is either on the A team or they're being blackmailed, because, it just seems like anytime someone comes in there, the information is leaked, and they knew like Hannah was in there, and like they knew when to delete her phone or the messages on her phone. So I've always thought something was up and something was going on with the police force, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Toby has to be a bad character. But on the other hand, I will say that something terrible probably happened to his mom. She was probably murdered rather than committing suicide. So he was also a tortured person himself. We know he has a lot of drama in his past and a lot of reasons to seek revenge. Obviously, A is a person who's out for revenge. So that makes me think that he could possibly be on the A team or be A. But on the other hand, I also think it's a little bit too obvious at this point. but maybe it's not. Like, that's what's so crazy about this show, because literally I'm always changing like who it could be, or, you know, almost everyone, like we've said before, almost everyone except for maybe Pastor Ted could be A, which is crazy to me. So Vlad is saying that Sarah's friend was at the ice ball dance, and I don't remember that, but that's a really good catch, and that's interesting. I think that means hopefully that they will bring that storyline back around, and we will find more out about why Sarah Harvey was important. Why is she connected to Bethany, or perhaps maybe they have like the same killer? You know, what is up with that? Because we really have been left hanging. We really don't know. Aya is saying that A is paying inmates to do his dirty work, $20. Probably. Very good. You know, we saw A in the last episode stuffing the Bibles with the $20 bills. That is probably the payment. Very, very good point there. The payment for prisoners to harass Allie and to abuse Allie. Amelia's asking, do you think that Varjak is A? I just don't know what to think. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe Varjak and Board Shorts are the same people, because we really don't know who Board Shorts is either. That hasn't been cleared up. So my thought is maybe Ezra could be Varjak and maybe someone else is A. I don't know. This is so confusing, guys, isn't it? I mean, it's crazy. Vlad is going to tweet me a pic of Sarah's friend from the ice ball. Thank you very much. And Sassy's saying, I think the house that Neelan, who is the lawyer, went to is important. Yes, I think that that house is important. It was kind of like a cabin in the woods. And not Spencer, but Emily thought that it was Varjak's house because she found that receipt from ordering the pizza. But that could just be, a trick. Might not be Varjak's house. Do you guys think that Mona hired the lawyer? That was kind of what Ezra was trying to figure out. Did Mona hire this lawyer, or was this person, you know, taking it upon himself to deliver that package to the girls like earlier this season? Your monster, that's your username on YouTube, saying that I hope A's motive is revenge for Bethany, Sarah's, whoever the dead girl is, death. Yeah, I think that's probably what it's going to be. And actually, Eva, who usually chats on the show tonight, she had a really good theory on one of my YouTube videos where she thinks that perhaps if Rin is Big A, it's because Bethany's his sister and he's seeking revenge for her murder. So I could see that. Bethany's obviously super, super important, but we can't forget about the twin theory. I think that someone's going to have a twin. I've always been trying to figure out like who that's going to be. Amelia said it's so confusing. I lost track so long ago. And I know, Amelia, I've talked to you on my YouTube videos about it. It's not only confusing, it's a little bit annoying because like there's so many things they tell us and I get really excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's such a great clue. And then like we never hear about it for episodes after episodes. Like whatever happened to Eddie Lamb? Like seriously. I mean, are they really going to drop some of these things? Like my hope for the show is that the next couple of seasons, they will go back to all of the storylines they dropped and they will wrap them all up. But I don't know. I'm kind of losing hope with that. But like, if I could have it my way, I would have all those storylines wrapped up so that, you know, the people who are loyal fans would finally know what happened with everyone. Shalisa says, I've heard theories that Varjak's cabin really belongs to Ezra or his family. The cabin looked pretty fancy. Not sure how true that is. Yeah, I could totally see that. Like I'm saying, I still think Ezra is Varjak, or at least tied to Varjak. Ina's saying maybe that house is in the finale. Possibly. Yeah, totally. I think we're going to see more and hear more of Varjak, like in the next couple of episodes. Jennifer's saying, I thought Ezra was Board Shorts. Maybe we did clear that up. Did we clear that up in the bar, like when he was meeting Allie? Maybe we did. Yeah, I think you're right. Yes, Board Shorts was Ezra. Sorry about that. I've almost forgotten, but now I remember because of the beer, right? It was called like Board Shorts beer. Okay, glad that we cleared that up. So, Damalia, I hope I'm saying your name right, Damalia, saying that my boyfriend is A, and by that she means Jason, who we haven't talked about tonight, who hasn't been in the episodes lately. He's kind of disappeared since his fling with Ashley didn't work out. But yeah, I mean, come on, guys. We could see that too, because he is Allie's brother and maybe related to Bethany, because maybe Allie's related to Bethany. So kind of forgotten about him. Amelia is saying ugh to Eddie Lamb because, yeah. And that's just one of the stories. I need to like sit down and write down like all the storylines that have been dropped, and then we need to discuss them because it's a little aggravating. Chiara says that she read this crazy theory about Bethany being Marion's daughter. Marion is Toby's mom. And that if she's A, she's after revenge on Allie because Mrs. D killed Marion. Well, I've heard a lot of people say that Mrs. D killed Marion. They think that she pushed her out of the window at Radley rather than her jumping. So I think that, I've heard that so much that I'm starting to believe that. Shalisa's saying that Ezra is board shorts, but we don't know who Beach Hottie is. Exactly. So somebody thought that they were pregnant. Who was that? And was that person who possibly got them pregnant, was that Beach Hottie? See how confusing this is? That's why I'm glad I have you guys to like help me keep it all straight. But right, that's right. Like it's confusing with board shorts and Beach Hottie because they're like both beachy names. And I was thinking we didn't know who one of them was, and we don't know who Beach Hottie is. So who is Beach Hottie? I think at one time we thought it was like Wilden or the detective before him who was killed. Sassy saying that Jason's going to be back in the next episode, so that makes me super happy. Jason, I have missed you. Yes, that is awesome. So Shalise is saying if you wrote all the drop storylines on PLL, you would have a book bigger than Ezra's book. You're totally right, because I only have 30 minutes for this show, and if I tried to discuss with you all of the drop storylines, we would never make it. We'd make it through like 3 or 4, and the show would be completely over. What do you guys think about Ezra breaking up? I haven't talked about that with you yet. I felt like it was coming, so it wasn't like a big shocker, but at the same time, as much as I think he's shady, I've always liked them together for some reason. So, that makes me kind of sad. Amelia saying that Allie thought she was pregnant, right? Yes, I think that is right. And Brooke is also agreeing with that. So do we think that Wilden was the one who got Allie pregnant? I don't know. So does that mean that Wilden is Beach Hottie? Because we've kind of thought that before, right? Okay. Yeah, Demalia is like, where the heck is Ren? Where the heck is Ren? Can anybody tell me the last time he's been in one of these episodes? Because it's literally been so long that I'm like forgetting what he looks like. Like seriously. I mean, if they make him Big A, it's like ridiculous. But still, there's a part of me that keeps thinking they're gonna go with the books, and in the books it was like Allie's crazy twin was A. Which I don't know. I really dislike that theory. So let's hope that's not true. Ana does not like Ezra or Arya. Sorry. And Amelia says that they bother her. And Jennifer's not sad. So I guess I'm alone here. I've just always kind of thought Ezra was really, really cute. And I liked him. But, I also on the other end of that think he's really creepy. And he definitely targets young girls because Arya is not the first, as we know. So, yeah, I see what you're saying. At the same time, though, I would rather see her with Ezra than with Andrew. But I thought it was super, super funny when she tried to play Andrew off as just like a study buddy. And then he texted something about her being beautiful and Ezra saw it. So I thought that was kind of funny because Ezra's been kind of weird with her lately. So I thought he kind of deserved to see that text. So we just have like 3 minutes left. So let's get in our last minute questions so we can discuss those. Amelia says, and she's kind of sad about Spoby being on the rocks, and they're really on the rocks. We didn't even see Toby in this episode. That breakup is most likely coming. So yeah, I know. I think they're really good together too. But it seems like these people break up and then they get back together. So Vlad is asking if I think that Mona is alive. And yeah, I do. I really do. And I'm hoping that they'll clear that up in the season finale. Because I want to know, just like you guys do. Like I don't know. I kind of think she was talking. Well, we all know that she was like staging her death and all of that. But what we don't know is if her plan somehow got messed up and she actually was murdered. So I hope that they clear that up because they've kind of left that up in the air and they've left the door open for her to be alive. That's kind of why I think she's alive. So seems like everyone hates Ezria except for me, and that's cool. Let's see. So Sassy's saying that the 7 letters clue could be related to Spencer and Toby because of the game Scrabble. They played it when they stayed at that motel, and they played it in like 7 or 8 episodes ago. Yeah, I totally remember that. Vlad hates Spoby, and Demaya misses Gossip Girl. Gossip Girl was a good show. I totally agree with you. I miss Chuck and Blair. I don't hate Spoby. The people that honestly, with Emily and her choices and girlfriends have really always bothered me. So if any, like a couple that would really annoy me would be her and her various girlfriends because I felt like she just has the worst taste. Like she picks people who are destructive to her. Like their personalities and the way they act, they just bring her down. Like that really bugs me. And I think she needs to take some time to be like single. That would be awesome. Amelia says that she used to love Ezria. Okay. They have gotten kind of boring lately, but I used to think they were like the best thing ever, like could not get better. Sassy feels bad for Toby. I kind of feel bad for Toby. He's had a lot of drama in his past and probably more than we even really know. And I hope that he's trying to do the right thing and be a good police officer and look out for the best interest of Spencer and the girls. That's what I think he is doing. I just hope. Amelia saying that Emily bugs her too. Yeah, I mean, I like Emily and I like Shay. Yeah, Emily just said she loves Shay. I think Shay's awesome. Shay has a YouTube channel too, and I'm not being paid to promote that, but she does. So you might want to check that out because it's cool to see her real personality. So we're pretty much out of time, but I just want to let you know if you are new here, I would love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm putting up a new video tonight, which will be my more in-depth recap of last night's episode. So I have this show every Wednesday that's live, and also I put up a new PLL video every Wednesday. So I would love for you to be part of my little PLL family. I feel like we're all friends, and I respond to everyone, and I just have like the best time talking about my theories with you guys. So thank you so much for being here tonight. I was laughing because they're talking about Emerson in the comments, but thanks so much. It's been so much fun. And as always, like, the time has totally flown by. So I hope you will join me next week at this time, 6 p.m. Eastern, for my next live show. And check my channel later tonight. Subscribe so you'll get that video in your feed. So you'll get to see my latest recap of last night's episode. So thank you again. And I hope you have a great day or night, like whatever time it is, wherever you are. Bye.